Well, happy Thursday. Is that what day it is?
Yeah.
This week has just been...
It's flown by.
Ever since I came home from Ohio, it's hit the ground running.
It is. We've had appointments even this morning, and we're out running around.
Go, go, go. So, I guess we're going to be talking about yesterday and the court hearing, right?
Yeah, going into it, we didn't expect anything but this continuance, because that's kind of what's been played out previously.
Well, I honestly wasn't sure what to expect because, first of all, there was a new judge, Judge Grab. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he was assigned to the case, and we've never sat in one of his courtrooms before, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I've heard that he was strict and by the book, so I was excited to hear that about him because I'm like, great, he's going to be the opposite of DeThomasis, so that's a good thing.
It was like a breath of fresh air to know that a judge is actually going to do his job, be a judge unbiasedly.
Right. So, and I will say that that is definitely what we saw in that courtroom. He was stern, he was to the point, he was professional, polite, all the things that you would expect a judge to be.
Yeah.
So I was glad definitely to see that, and especially in Levy County, you are always kind of expecting the worst, I would guess. Right?
Yeah, it's been like a clown show so far, a spectacle with the sheriff's office and their lack of enforcement, and children's services and their lack of enforcement. It's like, what do these people do to get money? Like, they're being paid money, but what are they doing to earn the money?
Well, it's really sad that they're in these positions where they're not there to do the job they signed up for. Like, they're just there for a paycheck. Mm-hmm. And those are the type of jobs that you really need people that care and that are honest, that have integrity. I mean, it's really sad in the CPS agency because you're dealing with children that are being mentally and physically abused. They need that more than any other person. So it's definitely sad to see that for sure. I know I don't want to get too much in on the CPS, but I will say that overall they've left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because they do not do their job.
And the sheriff's office continue to vote themselves raises. Like, it's...
Yeah, I don't know if anybody around Levy County has been paying attention to everything that's been going on in their budget meetings and those type of things. I know a lot of people don't attend, so they really don't pay any attention. And then you'll usually have a few people that try to bring that to the people's attention, and they end up getting bashed by the citizens because they don't really understand what's going on. So they've been duped, and they continue to vote for the wrong things because they vote without doing the research, and that's sad too.
Yeah. So bringing us back on track, before we get started with what happened yesterday, I would like to give our condolences to the Kirk family. Charlie Kirk's passing yesterday was a surprise. It was a shock. I listened to him. I mean, I always like to hear him kind of talk to the snowflakes at these universities, but it's sad that we've entered a world where you can't exercise your Second Amendment rights and your First Amendment rights. I don't know what to say about it. I just want to send our condolences from Madam Mayor's Adventures. It's a sad state of affairs, and our condolences go out to their family, and we can only imagine what they're going through.
Absolutely, and I'm going to hold my comments on that situation until the end of the video because I'm not getting into that right now.
Right.
Because I will end up getting too emotional right off the rip. That's why we didn't record this last night, because I was very emotional over these things that had happened. So I do not want to get into that until we've discussed this first. So I'm leaving that for myself till the end.
And that's fine. I had it at the top of my comment block because I just wanted to, for people that are just tuning in and not going to make it to the end, I just wanted to relay that.
Well, they can make it to the end.
Yeah, this will be a pretty good video. There's a lot of information. A lot of information came out of the Hales video yesterday. A lot of information has been shared about. So you want to start us off?
Well, first off, I'll just go back to our experience
Okay.
with the Zoom court hearing. So when we first signed in, I know it was probably within 10 minutes to it starting.
Mm-hmm.
And it did put us right into the courtroom, which I wasn't expecting that either. Usually, like, you go into a waiting room when you sign into Zoom, and then they pull you in when they're ready. Right. So we went right in, but there was no sound, so I was wondering if our sound was working or not. It doesn't really brief you or tell you anything. So you're just like kind of sitting there waiting, and when we signed on, we saw Jeremy was signed on, so
I did a little like
this. We
this.
waved back and forth at each other. So, it's sad that that's how you get to see your friends, but it was nice to see him nonetheless. So we were waving, even when George walked in and Deanna walked in, it's like, oh, there they are. And it's been a while since we've seen them. So it was just like, hey guys. But,
and apparently in the courthouse, in the courtroom, they have a big jumbo.
Well, they usually do in the courtrooms.
Screen. It's really big.
They have TVs in there, yes.
Yeah. So
if you've ever sat in the courtroom, you know that.
Okay. Well, right. The galley of people could also see us very clearly.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you've ever sat in a courtroom, you will know that. If you haven't, then you won't.
I haven't sat in one that had a Zoom going on, so that's new to me.
All right. So anyway,
so who else was in the Zoom?
You've messed up my whole
train
of thought.
So us and Jeremy were on the Zoom, and the attorney.
And then Jerome, her bankruptcy attorney,
for.
Signed in, which I was surprised to see him sign in. And again, there was any sound, so I was like, oh, is he representing her in this case now too? I thought he was just the bankruptcy attorney.
And he was being portrayed as going to be representing her in all 4 of the state cases.
Well, that is what they collected the money for.
Right.
For all the people that donated. They were apparently told that whoever they hired was going to be bankruptcy at that time I don't even think was on the table.
No.
If you remember. So they were talking about the federal cases and the thumbnail case and the Trespass 5 case, that they were looking for a lawyer to represent for all those cases.
And Lynette had requested that he appear.
Now, she didn't file the bankruptcy, which I think is odd, because it's like putting the the cart before the horse. Mm-hmm. She filed a bankruptcy and lists us all in it, and they hadn't even resolved these cases to have a decision on whether there's debt or not. So I thought that was strange.
Yeah, why are we creditors?
It's almost like I'm saying, I'm about to go file bankruptcy, so I'm gonna list a whole bunch of stores all over the planet because I'm ready to go shopping. Like, I haven't incurred that debt yet, but I'm listing it in my bankruptcy. I've never heard of that before.
It kind of seems like she's tipping her hand that she knows she's going to lose because she doesn't have a case. And that's what all this is about.
Well, not only that, but, you create all this.
Right.
And then you expect everybody else to clean up your mess. It's the same when you're grifting and putting the GoFundMes. You adopted a child. You moved to Otter Creek. Now the whole planet should pay for any bad decision you've made in your life. Why wouldn't you just go get a job and pay for your own bad decisions?
Yeah.
So she was not capable of these different things, and still is not capable, and she is still online trying to collect money. And that's another thing that, you have a bankruptcy case, or, well, it's closed now, but at the time you didn't claim a lot of different things that you should have in there. You have a business with inventory at the flea market. You are trying to get monies donated to you to buy an RV. Well, she's saying is just a loan. Like, is it a loan? Is it a grift? who knows? But none of that's listed, and typically people that are filing bankruptcies aren't out there trying to do other stuff, nor are people that are filing bankruptcies usually getting their hair did and their nails done.
Yep.
Like,
Get those nails.
that's super expensive to get your nails done. She had those French tips, and I mean, in my life, I've gotten my nails done a few times, but I thought that it was an incredible expense, not to mention the time that you have to incur getting those nails done. And I wonder who's watching the child when that's occurring, because she's the only one that can watch the child. But didn't she just debunk that at the hearing?
Of course.
So anyway, I know we're kind of walking through all over the
kind
place.
of going everywhere, but we're hoping to touch on
What else is
everybody's
new?
questions. Yeah.
But so
DUI guy was also in the Zoom.
yeah, we did see him in the Zoom. Now, we've never met him before, but he was looking super sharp.
He was looking
in
really
his
sharp.
suit.
Yeah.
And his backdrop there in his office.
Yeah, it looked like a law office.
Yeah, very professional. So
Yeah.
he's always looking sharp, sharper than most. So he's a busy guy, I know that, and it was good to see him in there. It's a shame, again, to see good people
being dragged in.
right. So then I thought it was funny too when the judge asked Larry if he was Lynette's lawyer.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it kind of appears that way if you don't know anything about the case.
right, because he's looking like sharp, and
he's looking
Jerome wasn't looking so sharp. He doesn't have a professional looking background, and when the judge asked him stuff, he was a little like stammering a little bit, like unsure of what he's saying. But he certainly confirmed that he was not there to represent her on this case.
No, he's one of the...
He confirmed that he is only the bankruptcy lawyer. And he also was adamant about telling the judge how he messed up the bankruptcy case, and I don't even know what his complete part was there. I think she thought that having him there was going to provide her some kind of pity from the judge, and possibly that he was going to do what DeThomasis has done in the past, which was give her legal advice and act as her lawyer.
Maybe
and
a little free counsel.
this judge was definitely not doing that.
He wasn't about it. And it's not his job. It absolutely is not.
No, that's absolutely what they should not be doing.
Yeah, that's like illegal.
So he did tell her that she was in over her head and that she was going to need a lawyer, and he was not giving her legal advice, and that when you walk in there, you're going to be treated just as if you are the lawyer, pro se. And she's done that before, so she kind of acts like everything's all new to her, but none of this is new to her.
No.
And what was the other part where it was really hard not to laugh at certain moments just because of all this stuff that's been going on for so long. And this stuff has caused so much stress and anxiety to so many people. I can't wait personally for the day this is all over and resolved for everybody, because who wants to live like this? But anyway, when she says, "My lawyer died," and she doesn't even say it in a normal tone. She just busts out with a higher dramatic,
I was like, nobody asked you that.
octave, "My lawyer died." And
Jeremy's head goes down like he's trying to not to laugh on the camera.
I was so trying just to...
I was dying.
My
lawyer didn't die.
But inside I was like, oh my gosh, she just didn't say that, did she?
Yeah.
And she says
She says it twice.
Yeah, and this is a bad deal for me. And she's really just trying to get the judge's sympathy at this point. Right. And he's, telling her he's not going to give her legal counsel.
Yeah, these are the 4 or 5 things that I wrote down. This is kind of how the judge said it too. He goes, "You're in default. You didn't respond in timely manner. I will not counsel you. You need an attorney. You're in over your head. Checks will be written. And we are moving forward." Those are my 5 key points.
My thing is, she acts like she has no idea about anything, but it's all over the internet. People are dissecting it all over YouTube. all over all the Facebook groups. She even comments
She's responding to it,
on
so she knows
some of the stuff. And
Yep.
she makes posts continuously about everything. So how do you not know? And then, I mean, normal people would have said, Your Honor, my lawyer has passed away.
Right, not died.
in a regular tone. And she's just all about the dramatics because she wants everyone to feel sorry for her.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time that your lawyer did pass away, why wasn't anything filed? She could certainly write a letter quick enough to the courts after watching one of Jeremy's videos.
Mm-hmm.
And she debunked herself left and right from that letter in the courtroom because she said she was too afraid for her safety, for her child's safety, to come to the court. She was there, so that was debunked.
You had at least 3 to 4 court security officers in there at any one time.
Right. I mean, as she carried on about how she was going to be set up, well, you can't be set up. Again, all the things that people catch you doing on YouTube, they are not making you do those things. Like, you are doing that. You're providing the content. You're doing the actions. Nobody's making you do any of that. Nobody's making you say any of that. You can't be set up.
And then you
can be caught doing things you shouldn't be doing or saying. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness.
So she posts these long rants and then she dirty deletes them. Why are you deleting them?
So not only that, but she debunked that. She says she's the only person that can watch the child. And her health is at risk and she's the only one who knows how to care for her. She stated in the past that she can't leave her alone with John. And she was not in the courtroom with her, so obviously that's debunked. She can leave her with other people. Mm-hmm. Whether or not she was with John, I wasn't there, I don't know, but I can only assume from past that that was the case. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. It just debunked that she can leave her with other people. She did. You know, and who watches her when she's getting her hair did and her nails done?
That child is in better care when someone else is watching her, not when she is watching her.
Well, I'm sure that also depends on who the someone else is.
Well, of course.
But, I mean, all in all, still to this day, my biggest problem with this whole situation is that this poor child is in that environment under their care. That is my biggest disturbance about the whole situation.
I almost can't believe. I don't know what it's unfathomable that this child is still living there. I don't know what has to happen for her to be removed.
Again, I guess I try not to think about that too much because that's another thing that'll just upset me.
And you can't do anything about it.
Right. So I try not to get into the weeds on that one too much. But anyway, you know, we were looking and there's, you know, a lot of people sitting in the benches waiting. So we were like wondering who those people were. Now we know in the past sitting in courtrooms, especially into Thomas's, you have usually the plaintiffs and defendants of other cases that are going to be heard throughout the day sitting in there. So we were assuming that that's who those people were. We were hoping that they weren't some weird fans of any of the channels there to scope out the situation because that's not really appropriate. So we certainly were hoping that wasn't the case and that they were just people for cases that were going to be heard throughout the day. Yeah. So again, we weren't really sure who those people were.
They were probably going, what's going on here?
Oh my goodness.
Another thing I missed that the judge also told Lynette. He says, you'll be held to the same standard as an attorney would be held to.
Right.
So if she decides to represent herself, she'll be held to the same standard.
As you should.
Yeah, meaning that she needs to know all the laws and how they apply and the proper court procedures.
I mean, the whole thing anyway is, why are you going around filing all these frivolous lawsuits, causing all these people anxiety and money, and then be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Poor me, I'm a victim. You caused it. All you had to do from day one was cease and desist.
and then just go on and do something else to get money.
And
okay, the grift didn't work, so have plan B.
I don't think it's okay for people to cause other people all this grief. This is a lot. And, you know, it's about time that these things are stopped. And this is the appropriate place to address it, is in the courts.
Right.
But, you know, it's time for all this nonsense that's going on all across our country, realistically, to stop. These frivolous lawsuits should not be even entertained, in my opinion. It's just ridiculous that people have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, their time, relationships are ruined over this, all kinds of stuff. You could go down the list. The health problems that stem from it. It's just sad that this is what is occurring. And then for that person to cry victim to top it off, that's just like icing on the cake. It's just not, it's not fair to the good people who are trying to live life in a good manner and do things with integrity. It's just not fair.
Yeah, even the term bad faith lawsuits was used to describe what it is she's doing. These are bad faith lawsuits. And maybe you want to speak to it a little bit because you lived in South Florida. What is the kind of the popular known, I'm missing my words here, but South Florida attorneys are not always the cream of the crop. They chase ambulances, they look for cases, and isn't that kind of the thought in general about attorneys from the Miami area? Is that they're probably unscrupulous.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could go across the country.
You can.
And find that. I mean,
but when someone says to you,
even in rural towns, you're going to find shysters. So.
You will, and we've seen a lot of them displayed over the course of all these cases. But if someone says to you, "Oh, I got an attorney," and you're like, "Oh, great, where's he out of?" He's out of Miami. You're thinking right away, oh no, it's not a positive vibe, is it?
Well, my first thought is, why would you get an attorney all the way out of Miami?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Especially for such a more common procedure. I mean, it's not like some very specialty type of lawyer that you can't find.
Right.
Okay, then I can understand. Or if they were like super cream of the crop, you know, there has to be something very special about getting a lawyer so far away to do it. And I thought that price tag of $6,000 for a bankruptcy is a little ridiculous as well.
It's a little high just for.
I mean, if you don't have money and you're filing bankruptcy, why would you pay top dollar for an out-of-town lawyer?
That's why you jumped.
It's all kind
like
of
$6,000.
It's all kind of, I don't know, it doesn't mesh.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had enough coffee this morning. My words are a little jumbled. But again, like last night, I could not even think of filming this with everything going on. But I mean, the whole situation is just a big wow. Like, to have even filed a lawsuit about an elderly gentleman trying to remove his RV off your property.
Where did she?
Well, I mean, the suit wasn't even against him. So that makes it even more like, wow. Because here you had a group of people trying to do something good for an elderly man in need of help, which is what we should be doing across our nation, is helping each other.
And at first, Lynette wasn't even opposed to us getting the trailer. She's like, okay, you can get the trailer. And then she kind of doubles back and says, no, she wants somebody else to do it. But it doesn't make sense.
Oh, nothing about what she does makes sense. But the whole thing about this lawsuit, like the whole lawsuit didn't even make any sense. And then the person whose RV it wasn't even in the lawsuit. And then you have, you know, we did everything correctly about this because we called the Levy County Sheriff's Department several days in advance.
Yep,
we
I did that.
Got an officer to be there. Those are all the proactive things you should do to avoid problems. And knowing who was involved in these situations, that's what we absolutely wanted. No problem. We wanted to get this done quickly, help Lloyd out, and everybody be on their merry way. And that is not what occurred at all. It ended up being a very long day. It was a very hot day. And it was just very disturbing, the things you see while you're on that property. And then to have a lawsuit filed on top of all that, you're like, what? Like, nobody expects to do a good deed and help a friend out and then get basically run over with some baloney. Like,
Yeah, when we left there, we weren't expecting any lawsuit to happen. We had a police in place. He was navigating the whole process.
yeah, it was like, good. We were
Right.
able to help Lloyd. We've been talking to him for months, hearing him in super distress. And I like to help people. It really bothers me to hear them crying and in distress and just in a spot where they don't know what to do, who to call, and they're calling you. You're like the last person, they don't know what to do, and you like want to help them. And it really bothered me for months that we couldn't do that. So when the opportunity arose and we're like, oh great, we're going to be down there, we can do this, we can get this done. Like,
Right.
I was stoked about being able to do that for him. So yeah, nobody expected what we incurred, and I was so grateful for Travis and Deanna and Rex, and just for all of us to come together to be able to help them, which is another thing people need to do, is just come together and help each other. I
That's
mean,
what friends do. That's
for
what you're
sure.
supposed to do.
for sure, that's what friends are supposed to do. That's what neighbors are supposed to do, but like not these neighbors.
And Lynette benefited from that whole move process because she stole his refrigerator.
She stole more than his refrigerator, but
Yeah,
that was
but
a
that
for
was
sure.
the big ticket item. That's like $1,000 refrigerator, and she just took it. And she knows it's not hers.
Like the
We know
whole
it's
thing
not
was
hers.
she benefited from him being on the property the whole time.
Yeah, that fridge was at the campground.
Because again, she does use the child and the stories about the child for everybody to, pull on the heartstrings and whip out the wallet.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, all that comes of that is enabling it to continue and get worse. Those are facts. So anyway,
And so the judge did say that he was inclined to sign the motion if the motion was there and ready. And I think within 2 hours of the Zoom ending, the motion was posted. So I think it was ready. It just wasn't right there.
yeah, the judge did
paper
ask
form.
Jerome, if the bankruptcy was in play right now, and he did say no, it is not. It's been dismissed.
Right.
The hearing to see if we can even get it reinstated is not until October 7th, and that's just a big if. That doesn't mean they're going to by any means.
No, it
and,
has to be federally approved.
and I can't imagine that they would. I mean, you had all this time to do the things you need to do, and you didn't do
And you
it.
didn't do it.
So, so anyway, that's just a big if. And so Jerome said there's absolutely nothing, there's no stay, so there's nothing that is prohibiting the
This
courts
case
from
from
going
moving
forward with
forward,
this
right.
case.
Right.
So,
And so he did. He said, basically, without mincing words, he says to Mr. Shockett, if you can present the motion, I'm inclined to sign it. So it's posted,
yeah, we did see that it was posted. It was already up, I want to say, last night.
Yeah, it was up.
And as you know, people have been posting the screenshots of it all over the groups.
Yeah.
And it's still locked, as far as I know. The document is still locked, so people can't read it. But I'm sure very shortly the things will be open and everybody will be reading it all over the channels. So
Now he could award damages up to the specified amount that we brought the suit for, $56,000, but it doesn't mean he will. So he'll first have to sign it and okay it, and then he has to render his decision.
yeah, nobody knows for sure.
And
at
we don't
this
know what
point
that is yet.
What is going to be awarded?
If anything, you don't know.
Are you going to be a new turtle owner? We don't know.
We don't know. What do you think? Two Town 3.0, baby.
wow, you know, if that happened,
You want to be mayor?
yeah,
Put your hat in the ring.
could move back and clean up the town.
Clean up the rest of the town. We can get that part cleaned up because, you know.
I mean, it is kind of sad to see what's going on in Otter Creek with the whole board and everything, so.
And we don't know what will happen with any lien on any property
No.
that people's talking about. We have no idea.
Nobody knows.
Right. We don't know yet. We expect we should know in the next couple days what the judge is deciding, when it gets posted, when we get the email from Randy or a phone call. But that's when we'll know, you know. So if it gets posted, you'll know when we know. Unless we get a phone call or email beforehand. But
Do you think we'll be able to get a permit?
yeah, when you become mayor, that's, you know, how that works.
No, I don't.
But
Everything works by your ordinances and your laws.
it's supposed to work
That's
that
how
way,
that
yes.
is supposed to work for sure, but I guess it's not working like that at the moment. I really don't know
Right.
what's happening in that town.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. But I don't know. Did we cover everything? I think we did.
You know, and then, you know, according to watching Jeremy's video, Lynette was supposed to stay around to
Oh yeah.
do the
He's
hearings.
like, has she left the building yet? Can you go get her? And they tried to go and get her, and she was out lickety split.
You know, and she did this whole post how she did not run out of the courtroom. The bailiff told her to stay here and wait for her. Well, if you left, then you didn't listen to what he told you. If he
Right.
told you to stay and wait, you didn't.
You
Like,
didn't.
why would you make a post
She was really
saying
upset.
saying these different things, and then within the same sentence you debunk yourself? I mean, if you could read through her post, which, you know, everybody does, you can see all the time within the same sentence that she debunks herself. And I'm pretty sure I spotted a few in all of those.
Mm-hmm.
But I just always picture when someone says she ran out of the courthouse that day that she was running through the yard, like leaping in bounds, and she's a disabled person. I can't run like that. I have serious back problems, and I can't run like that. No way. But here she is. She's getting disability, and she can run and jump. And when we were there getting Lloyd's stuff, she was grabbing those toolboxes one-handed and totes and just
and running back and forth to the gate,
whipping them through, like
walking.
I didn't picture much of this disability during these moments.
I didn't either.
So it's just another one of those things. Whenever you hear the terms "something died," what do you picture? What do you hear automatically? My mom died. No, she didn't die. And, you know, so same thing when you hear she ran. I picture always her running through the yard and hurdling, and it's just like, wow. I mean, if everybody could be that disabled and collect a check.
Yeah, maybe the disabled investigators need to go do a drive-by.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she'll run out to greet them.
Hold on, I'll be right there. Oh, I was supposed to like go, oh.
But I don't know. It's just kinds of crazy. But yeah, she did several big posts. She was dirty deleting, and she got debunked several times in the post she was posting. And I can't even speak right. Like, I need a lot more coffee today. But I know people were breaking it down again with these different posts.
It's kind of funny how the bankruptcy thing kind of worked against her, because they filed for bankruptcy and her own bankruptcy attorney didn't represent her very well because he didn't get the documents in time. So therefore it closed, allowing this case to move forward. Is kind of how it worked out, because they're reapplying, but they don't reapply yet, and it's got to be approved. So this case kind of moved forward in a lull between the two bankruptcy filings, should there be a second filing. So it's kind of funny, the timing of everything. Had this case happened after October 7th, or this hearing happened
Well, I
after
personally don't
October
even
7th,
understand how she was able to list people on her bankruptcy when it hadn't,
Yeah.
like, none of anything makes sense.
Yeah, she doesn't owe us any money yet.
I don't
Yeah.
even understand why, again, people just keep throwing money around at her like it's monopoly money to do all these different things that make no sense. Like, there's plenty of good causes in the world.
She's been donated enough money to finish that house.
You're
Maybe
just-
not all at once.
You're enabling people to keep behaving badly.
Yeah.
There are good causes throughout the world. There's hungry children. There's hungry animals. There's homeless veterans. There's so many good causes around the world where you could take your money and do good things. I just don't get it at all.
And this isn't one of them.
Like,
You're wasting your money. And then she's going to waste your money. Or if she even gets it. Because it's been intercepted by other players.
right, and they're doing wrong things. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how anybody could look at this whole situation and be like, yeah, these people, like, I feel bad for them and they just need my money. Like,
And all these people that have
What?
jumped on the bandwagon with these other smaller YouTube channels bashing Jeremy and what he's doing, why did you get involved? Why did you put yourself in liability by bad-mouthing stuff either you knew you wasn't correct or you're just running your mouth about things you don't know, one of the two, because you're not on the right side of things. And guess what? I hope to see all of y'all liable for the interference y'all have ran in this, because y'all were not involved and y'all put yourself in there. Like some people, we get told sometimes, why y'all still talking about Otter Creek? You don't live there anymore. Because we are still involved with Otter Creek. It's the case, and there's other ties to Otter Creek. So we're entitled. But if anyone else wants to jump on, they don't live in Otter Creek either. None of them do. The only ones that are living there that are participating in any of this is Lynette and John, the Hales, and then we lived there, so we can speak to it, because all of this is derived from when we did live there. And then no one else, by that logic, no one else should be speaking to it.
I mean, this whole situation occurred from people with bad intentions stalking someone to a town,
Right.
and then causing the people in the town a lot of grief. The things that she has posted about all of us, the constant harassment. I mean, this went on for quite a while before it was ever brought to the planet's attention.
And she's hurting people's businesses.
And
so
we thought, like, a normal
yeah.
person would just stop doing this. So we didn't react to it. We didn't react to the posts. She was posting bad stuff. We own a business. Like, we were just like, okay, well, we're going to aggravate it more if we respond to it. So we'll just leave it alone. It'll die out.
Right.
That's a normal, but we're not used to dealing with
Crazy.
not on that magnitude. I've never seen that magnitude.
Yeah.
So nothing died out. And eventually it came to the planet's attention. But I mean, this went on for quite a while. She caused a lot of harm to a few people involved in the town. And it's just shameful that people go around causing this much harm to people and then get rewarded by people donating to them to enable them to continue with their bad behavior. So it'd be nice in the end to see this stopped and to see the good people come out on the, I guess, winning end. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I hate to even use that term winning, because what did you win?
What did you win?
The only thing I think you won is that it has stopped. But you don't get back all that time,
The aggravation.
the relationship strife that it has caused. You don't get any of that back.
Right.
So the only winning is that it's now stopped, or that you hope it stops. So I don't even know what the right term would be.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's
it's just sad that these things continue, and I know these things are continuing all across our nation. There's, the bad news here is, and now I'll get more into what's going on in our nation.
yeah,
The bad news is mental health is at its all-time high.
yeah,
And it's only getting worse. And there's so many contributors to it. You have the chemicals that are in our foods. You have just checks from the government being thrown at a lot of people who make up a lot of things, make problems worse for themselves, who aren't truly using these funds to help themselves. The healthcare is high. A lot of people aren't going to get mental health because you spend a lot of money on the medicines and to receive the therapies. So a lot of people can't go get it.
there's no guarantee it's even going to work.
You have encouragement from different political parties for people to do all kinds of things regarding genders and identities across the board. Just there's so much hate being thrown all over, and it makes the mental health worse. And then you have viruses being thrown into things, people being stuck in their houses. The phones are creating social problems. Like there's so many elements just being piled on top of everybody.
And the drugs pouring in from Mexico when the border wall was down. I mean,
The drugs are messing everybody's heads up worse.
the drugs were already here, but more isn't going to help.
You have broken families. You have sometimes no parents for these kids.
Yeah.
You have bad adoptions going on. You have bad parenting going on. Like everything is so broken. So you have this huge mess all over the nation, and people aren't thinking clearly, and there's just so much hate. And you saw it yesterday, what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Why can't we just, as humankind, have a conversation and agree to disagree on a point? We
Right.
don't agree on everything.
Just because you have a disagreement
Right.
doesn't mean you need to be at war with the person.
Right.
Can't you just listen? Can't you just talk? Even at the end of the discussion, if you haven't hashed anything out to where you're in agreement, at least you can now understand where this person is coming from. Well, I understand why they feel that way, but I don't agree with it.
Right.
And you understand each other better. You can leave the table understanding each other better.
And
But we're in such a situation in this nation that if you don't agree with each other, you're automatic enemies, and bad things are happening. It's almost like we're not humans anymore. You've put political parties above all else. You forget the fact that we're all God's children, and first and foremost, God should be first in your thoughts, and you should think of each other as brothers and sisters in Christ. I know Charlie Kirk, if that's the one thing that he wants to be remembered for, it is his faith and his courage in faith.
Yes.
And it's sad to see, no matter what his political background was, no matter what his views were, he was first and foremost a brother in Christ. And that's what he should be remembered for. And it's sad to see that somebody died for something so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It truly is. But we see it everywhere, all across the nation. People just don't care anymore. They're caring about all the wrong things. They're not showing each other love or respect. And, everybody has to give their opinion in each other's face about everything, to the point where it becomes violent. It makes no sense to me. And I just think, this is my 2 cents anyway, is that God called on a warrior that he needs in a more important situation yesterday.
Yeah. So Charlie Kirk, I think he was more he has almost like 4 million views on YouTube, but besides that, he's Turning Point USA. He had conservative values, but he shaped his values from the Bible. And you can agree or disagree with that. I'm not here to argue that point. I'm just saying he would visit all these universities and he would try to influence or speak to or try to understand or share information or inform the other viewpoint. Like he had a large crowd, a big following of conservatives. But he would always say, if you disagree with anything, come to the front. You get to speak first. And they get to come up to the mic on a huge platform and debate Charlie Kirk one-on-one in front of everyone that's at the university that attended and online. And I would always like to hear that. And I would listen to it, like if I'm in the gym or something, I'll listen to the back and forth. And once in a while, not real often, but you would get some far left-wing people talking, but I had respect for them if they were trying to make their point.
And he was always very fair.
He was always
everybody.
respectful. He would always tell the crowd, let them speak, let them speak. And he would let them finish. And he would even take his microphone, he's holding his microphone, and he would say, okay, you have the microphone, go ahead, go. And he'd set the microphone down so that he couldn't say anything and interrupt. And if he did interrupt, he apologized and he would bring it back on track and he would let them talk again. So he was very respectful. And sometimes, the liberal viewpoint, at least it was heard, he would rebuke it and then they would get a chance to rebuke it back. And at the end, they're not mad.
Everything
they're not
ended
throwing
respectfully.
things. Everything is respectful, and it was a conversation, and everyone got to hear it. They got to hear both viewpoints, and then everyone gets to make up their own mind. He doesn't always change their mind, and that's okay. He may have changed someone's mind that's listening. And it was always very respectful. And the person, when they're done talking, they would just say, well, thank you, and it was nice to meet you, and they walk off. I have respect for that person because of the way they conducted themselves.
Now,
I don't have to agree with them.
Who I feel very bad for is his beautiful children.
Yes, they're very young children.
And his beautiful wife.
Yeah.
That's
the most.
That's very sad for them, what they have to go through now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Definitely lots of prayers going out to them.
Yeah.
And I always think at times like this to be, what can we take out of this that's positive? And to me, this is, some people say, how could we have a God in a world where things like this happen? How does he allow this to happen? And sometimes God allows things like this to happen because
free choice.
A lot of people's attentions need to be grabbed. And I feel like, I hope people are paying attention, and I hope people really do wake up and see that hearts need to be softened here. We need to come together. We need to start treating each other in a respectful, loving manner. And that's the positive I would like to see come off of a bad situation like this, is that people wake up, get woke, get woken up. That's the woke we need. That people wake up and love on each other.
Yeah.
So to me, that's why different tragedies are allowed. He doesn't cause them. God does not cause these things, but sometimes they are allowed. People are allowed to behave. He gives us all free will, but he allows it to happen so that we'll see. Because sometimes our greatest changes, or most often our greatest changes, are when we're rock bottom. We're in the most pain. That's when you call on God the loudest, is it not? So if everything in your life was comfortable and going smoothly, you may think that you don't need the man, but you do. You need him every day, 24/7. Yep. So that's just what I wanted to share with everybody today as far as what I think is bad news. It's bad news for our country and our people and where we're at. And I just wish people would wake up.
Yeah.
So, I managed not to totally bawl there, so I'm like, yeah, I made it. But it does make me emotional.
But
Because I think it's sad.
the way people are reacting to each other it ties into this case and to the future cases that Jeremy's having to deal with. It's how people are interacting. Why is there all this hate over here? If there wasn't this hate, you don't have to like Jeremy to know that he's probably right about what he's doing. He's taking this to court. That's where you're supposed to decide. But it's sad that it had to go this far. You know, they could say, oh, I don't agree with them, and just go on your way. Great. Guess what? We're not in court.
I wish people would just stop hating so much.
Yeah, just quit hating. Spend that energy on loving instead of hating somebody.
So I just, all in all, I hope people just take a step back and really look at things and ask some important questions about this world we're living in, and is this exactly what you want? How can you make a difference for the positive? Those would be some good things. Because if anybody is celebrating anything that happened yesterday,
that's sick.
That's sick. It's sad. And like, I'll be praying a lot for everybody and hearts to soften. And not only that, but also today is 9/11.
Oh yeah, so memories go out to the victims of 9/11 today.
So, think of that day as well, and think of the way America came together after that day.
Yeah, and don't forget, remember these teaching moments, because if we continue down this path of hate, we're going to end up in another civil war. That's how it all started. It starts with hate, and we can't continue to we don't have to be besties, but we just have to agree to disagree and go on our way. We don't have to hate. The hate is what's going to divide and kill humanity.
And we can only worry about ourselves.
Yeah,
so
there's only so much control.
Check yourself and see what you can do differently. And I guarantee you, once you start doing things in a loving manner and differently, it's going to be like a domino effect.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. But anyway, thank you all for joining us today to listen to our recap of the court date. And
Trespass 5 case. Hopefully, once signed, is over.
Yeah, because it would be nice to get out of all this stressful anxiety mess and start focusing on a lot more positive things. My prayers are still for all the court cases to end, so Jeremy and George can live their life without all this stress.
Get back to doing what they do best.
Yep. Lots of love to our friends, and
it was good seeing all of our friends on Zoom.
To everybody across the nation, and to all of you watching today.
Yep.
Get out there and show each other some love. And we'll talk to you again soon. Love you guys.
Bye.